Hello YouTube, Mason Sushi here. Sorry it's been a while. It's been about a month. I've been trying because my schedule's been so busy here. Been trying to do a video, every few weeks, but it seems like it's getting to where it's, every month, every 2-3 weeks, and now it's been a month, which I apologize for. But to be honest, I've been kind of on the slow front as far as collecting games. I've slowed down a bit. I've kind of aimed a little bit towards the PC engine here, and I'll show you it. This is the Japanese one. This is the white one. If you go back and look at one of my earlier videos, the only unboxing video I've done on the channel, when I got this in like a little over a year ago. This is a modded one. This actually is modded for AV out with color booster, and is region modded, so it'll play US and Japanese hue cards. I don't have very many games, but it's a pretty cool system. But this came out, was it 86, 87? People are going to hate me if I get it wrong. It came out in 89 in the US, so I think it may be 87 it came out in Japan. I think it was about 2 years later here. But it's a fantastic system. It's kind of between a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo. It kind of falls between it. It technically falls in the 8-bit category, but it plays Street Fighter. And at the very end of its life, with the CD add-on, it was playing things like Fatal Fury and some Neo Geo ports, Super CD-ROM games. So this system definitely has power behind it. It has two 8-bit processors. I think an 8-bit GPU, and I think an 8-bit CPU, CPU, and I think an 8-bit GPU. That's how they consider it a 16-bit system. But it's pretty kick-ass. It really is. And I bought it way back, and I wanted to get into it and kind of played a couple games, and then just kind of forgot about it. Honestly, didn't do much with it. Just sat on top of my television. On the side here, where normally the RF will let you do channel 1, channel 2. I have the switch to do American and US. So the one thing I dislike about this system, and with most of the NEC systems, is the fact that they put their ports on their sides. So you have your your video on one and your power on the other. And I guess for a system this small, with an expansion port in the back, maybe that was the only way to do it. But I just think that there had to be a better way to go about. There's small. Granted, there's only small sides on either side, but it's hard to believe they couldn't put a little AV and power on each side, because nothing's worse than you're sitting there plugging it in and you got wires coming off either side. So it doesn't really take up this space on your counter. You have to account for a little extra on either side for your cord. The plastic bit of your cord to stick out and then wrap around. So it's really more, takes up like that space. But it's a very small system. It's about 3 CDs in size. So I think I talked about that before. But it's a great system. And then what I ended up picking up, I have all my stuff crammed on my couch here. My Tanoke 2. It takes batteries. And this is a save feature. It's pretty much allows for backup saving. The system has no onboard memory, and there's no batteries or anything like that. So everything you play in, it's either password based or pretty much one and done. So they in Japan they released the Tanoke 2, and they actually have I think they have a Tanoke 2 Plus maybe that has both save and AV out, which will give you AV ports on the back of your system, and it just slides on the top. Now, it by itself, if you count the plastic piece on the bottom, is almost the same size of the system, which kind of negates the whole tininess of it, But, it slides in. It's a snug fit. And they have little cutouts on either side, you can see, for the power and the AV. And then, but like I was saying, the other one would have this. I've seen 1 or 2 people modify this Tanoke, actually, to tap into the composite output, because on this one of the pins here, I don't know which one it is, it's one of the ones on either side, has composite video out, and then a couple of the other ones has your power and your ground, your left and right channel and your ground. So what they do is they tap into this and then drill holes into the inside of here and then put your ports here, and then kind of just make a little extension wire about yay long, you know, kind of like that, so you can pull them apart. A little more involved. Mine's just modified, so I don't have to worry about it. But a good system. But they say the battery in these Tinokis lasts a long time, and I play Parasol Stars, and one of the big things is, my high score, and it sucks. But I like to go back and try to beat my own high scores. And before, I'd play it, and I'd try a few times, and as soon as I powered it off, I lost everything. But with the Tinoki on this system, really helps. And they have a similar kind of thing. I think they have the AV booster for the American Turbografx, and I believe they have AV Booster Plus, maybe. I don't really look too much in the American hardware on the system. I find that I really like the tininess and size of this. I mean, this is still, even with the booster on, it's a lot smaller footprint than the Turbografx US, and it has the saving feature. And if I didn't even care about that as much, and just had the regular system with the AV out, that's incredibly small. I mean, that's half. I mean, the Turbografx system is about double that size, and then you add a big knob on the back end, so it's a pretty big system. I'll just tell you some of the games I got, and if I've played them. By far, my most favorite game, and the reason I bought the system, was Parasol Stars. Parasol Stars is a fantastic game. It's Bubble Bobble 3. And I so wish they would have ported it to the US NES. It did come out in Europe, and if you import it and play it on a US top loader, there's some graphic glitches. It still works okay, still playable, but I really wish they would have ported it to the US and done a proper port here for the NES. I think it would have been fantastic. Other than, we got some Rainbow Islands sequel junk thing. I mean, some people I'm sure likes it, but this is about the only one in the series I really, really like. Everyone's goo-goo over Bubble Bobble series, but this is the one. This is the reason I got it. I ended up playing an emulator and just trying out some games. I had to try it out on a whim, and I was like, oh my god, this game's freaking fantastic. So I played it more and more on the emulator, and I'm not a huge emulator fan, and I just fell in love with it. I said, okay, well, I got to get this game. And I started to look at the Turbografx, and I was just like, man, that system's big. And so I saw the Japanese one was incredibly tiny, and that's when I was like, wow, all right, okay, well, I get the Japanese one and get it modded. So that's the whole reasoning behind, the PC Engine. I mean, I only have like 3 or so, Japanese games. I got it mostly for its size, more so to play Japanese games. But come to find out, the Japanese library, I mean, the U.S. has, like, I think 194, 196 hue cards, and the Japan, Japan has like 800 or something. Or like 600 cards, 200 discs, or, something like that. I don't know. But it's like 5-7 times the amount. It's just stupid. So it actually works out really good that I ended up getting that, even if I didn't get it modded. So that's my Parasol Stars. And my second favorite game for the system, hands down, Blazing Lasers. Blazing Lasers, I downloaded it on the Wii. It's just fantastic. I love the number 3 weapon, whatever that is, with the little blue beams. Great, great, great game for a shoot 'em up. Great difficulty, great curve. The bosses are cool. You get your bombs. Good speed. You get little pink or pinkish red orbs, and those improve what current weapon you have. So you get like, let's say the number 3 weapon I like is this blue fat beam that goes around and squiggles around the screen. As you keep getting each number 3, it morphs that weapon. So, the first number 3 you get's a basic one, and then the second number 3 you get changes it to be the more advanced thing. But the pink orbs make them do more damage when it hits. So, and it also increases your speed. So you want to pick those up too with your weapons. Just a great, great game. Another game I got, Ninja Spirit. This is kind of like the Turbografx, is Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden. It's a really cool game. It's really kind of off the wall. There's parts where you have to, you have just tons of guys flipping around on the screen, and you jump like super high. It kind of reminds me of the Crouching Tiger movie, where people just jumping around, flying. And you have your sword, and you can, use it, and then you end up picking up all these other weapons, like, is it a a scythe or something. I mean, or a pole. It's just huge stuff you get on there. Really cool. And then you can have one or two guys shadow you, which is cool. So when you jump a second later, the next one jumps, and so that becomes part of the game, is trying to figure out where you can jump and then fall down the ground and leave your shadows up in the air, just swinging their swords, hitting a target where you're not taking damage. But come to find out, and I realized this right near the end, and there's infinite continues, before I gave up on the game, I got stuck, and it was frustrating. And come to find out, you can change your weapon by hitting select, or whatever that select button is. And maybe if you have the 3-button controller, it maps to the 3rd button. I'm not sure. But I know if you hit select, you can do it. But I totally forgot about that until like the very, very end. By that time, I was so pissed off I didn't care to do it. But other than that, now knowing that, going back and playing it, it's fantastic. Even when I played it and got frustrated, it was a great game. So if you have a Turbografx, it's another one. It's not super expensive game. Tricky Kick. I haven't played it. I hear it's a puzzle game. China Warrior. I think this is the one with the large fighting sprites. Again, really hadn't played it much. I tend to, for all the games I have, I've only played a few thoroughly. So, I mean, I've tinkered around with a lot of games. Alien Crush, a great pinball game. Its sequel, Devil Crush, which I do have, which I'll show in a minute. But Alien Crush is great. One of the earlier pinball games on the system. And so, pretty cool. Legendary Axe 2. I do have the first one. And, where is it? It's right here. This is the first one. This is the Japanese one. This is one of the Japanese games I have. And I actually want to get the American version of it too. And I like how in Japan they actually have the circle stuff on the end. But it's an inexpensive... The first one's an inexpensive game on either Japan or US. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool game. You're almost looks like a pink-haired guy with an axe. And this should have been... A lot of people say that the first Legendary Axe should have been the packing game with the system. That or Bonk 1. I agree. It's a great thing. I think Keith Courage was kind of a poor decision, personally. And then going back to this is the second one, where it's almost like a totally different game. This one, it's kind of weird. You have a long sword instead of an axe, so you're like, why is it Legendary Axe if you have a long sword? And it's almost like in an Egyptian setting. Kind of totally different mechanic. But I think personally they probably just tacked on Legendary Axe 2 for another game to help sales, but it's not bad at all. Bloody Wolf. It's a shooter where you're coming up from the bottom of the screen. Kind of like if you can think of like in the Car Warriors in a way. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not a bad game. I enjoy it. I mean, that's one I've played a little bit, not a whole bunch. R-Type. Now we got, in Japan they got R-Type 1 and then R-Type 2 as 2 different hue cards. In the US they released it as 1 card, which is good, save you the money. And so I guess in Japan they divided it up thinking people would play the first part and get pissed off and not want to play the second part. But, great game. It's, again, not as good as Blazing Lasers personally, and it's kind of brutally hard. This is the one game everyone and their uncle has for the system. Keith Courage, packing game. You're a robot, you're a guy. A little rainbow comes down from the sky. Blah, blah. You can get them for a couple bucks. Actually, I know more people that treasure the case it's in than the actual game itself. Because what they'll do is they'll take this case and put it on other ones that, the later release games only came in a plastic tray in the cardboard box with a hue card, and then the instruction manual didn't come in one of these hue cases. They're not like CD cases as much as you think they are. The top half, is a standard jewel case top, but the bottom is a molded piece of plastic that fits these hue cards in nicely. And the thing is, later releases didn't have this case. What they'll do is they'll throw out the manual or give it away and strip off the name on the side. And then there's people that make custom labels. You can go to PCEngineFX.com, or I think they're on digitpress.com, or you might even be able to go to Nintendo Age and find the same guy. But the same guy who does it on a few forums, and he sells these spine labels for a complete set, or you can buy just the ones that did not come in cases. So when you do replace the case, you can stick a label on it, make it fit right on your shelf. So that's why those cases are in demand. Bonk 3, this is one actually I did that same thing for. I had a replacement case. This is not the real manual. This is just a color copy that I had asked someone to do for me. So I had it, which I kind of pissed off about, because when I purchased this game, if I would have paid just like $10 more, I would have had the real instruction manual. And at the time, I was like, I need the $10. I don't care about the manual. And then come to find out now, the manuals. I mean, there's an idiot on eBay selling it for like $300, and you can buy the manual in game from other people on eBay for like $150. So this guy's a moron. But it's a good one. In this bonk gets really large. You know, I'm okay about the bonk series. I think it's a great looking game. The headbutting thing gets to be a little annoying when you have to jump and then glide down with your head like that. You know, if you were just walking and kind of like butting your head forward, that'd be one thing as attack. But the fact you have to like almost jump attack to hit a lot of these people, you know, it gets a little annoying. But it is a fun game. I mean, you know, you can have a lot of fun with it. This is, I believe, the second most expensive game in the U.S. Hue card library. The first one being, of course, Magical Chase. That it's just, I think a loose cart, the estimated loose cart value right now is like $600, $800 for a loose cart of Magical Chase. So I won't get that one. I already spent my high dollars on stadium events. This is Fire Pro Wrestling 3. This one is just, all I have is the manual and the card. So what I did was I took out a jewel case and I stripped out the little pieces that hold the disc, so I could just kind of lay it in there flat, and guess until I get a Hue card case. But it's just a wrestling. It's all right. I mean, I've played it a few times. You know, once you play a wrestling game, you play them all pretty much. Alright, here's TV Sports Basketball, TV Sports Football, and TV Sports Hockey. Just, you know, every system has their generic sports titles, and Turbografx is no different. They also have golf and other junk that I don't own, but I'll probably get it if I find it for a deal. But you know, the Green Label Sports, but I got them. I don't remember how much I got them. I think I got them in a trade or something for peanuts. So, also another little cheesy sports game, Taking It to the Hoop. You know, I don't even think I've turned this one on. Vigilante. This is another Japanese game. Let's see about the disc on the back. I like this artwork a heck of a lot better than the U.S. one. I think it's a little different. I don't know if the U.S. would go for, you know, the knife on the face. Here's the first Bonk, Bonk's Adventures. Again, you know, good game. So I'm missing Bonk 2. I guess that's Bonk's Revenge with the kind of greenish background. Good game, but again, you know, I wish just he could walk and hit instead of jumping and hit. Other than that, it controls well, beautiful colors, great character design, the flower jumping. It's pretty cool. Play any of the Bonks if you can. Military Madness. It's the strategy game for the Turbografx 16. Good stuff. Galaga 90, another shoot 'em up. Again, not as good as Blazing Lasers. Kind of fun. Only played it a few times because I keep going back to Blazing Lasers. World Cup Tennis, you know, crap sports game. Haven't played it. The World Class Baseball. You know, just another sports title that I somehow got in a deal or a trade. Let's see here. Final Lap Twin. Just, you know, indie racing game. And as far as my sidearms, it's a shoot 'em up. Yeah, it's fun. I had good times with it. You know, I like the shoot 'em up genre. I'm not great at them, but I enjoy them. Then I have, I missed a couple games slid off. Victory Run. Victory Run's kind of an odd duck because I think it has regular racing and it almost has an RPG element for another part of the game. So it's kind of, you know, it's my only racing game I think I have for the system. No, I have the indie game, but this one I've played more than that one. And Dungeon Explorer, I had a good time playing 3 players. I think this will play up to 5. This is very much like a gauntlet style game where your health ticks down, and it can be brutal. It can be brutal, but this is a good one. Actually, this is the only game I bought the card and the manual from somebody, and actually came across when I was visiting a friend. They had a Dungeon Explorer case with no manual or anything, so with the real sticker on the end. I was like, wow, what's the odds? But I got that, so I completed my copy. And I do not have well, as far as my box games, I do not own a CD drive, but I do have a CD game for it, the Magical Dinosaur Tour. And this last one, I cannot say its name, but this is the Sapphire game, and this is not an original copy. I know that there's less people that'll see it, and the first thing they're on their mouth is, "Oh God, you have the real one." No, this is the one that is given away on PC Engine Effects. It's free. You know, you can just go say, "Hey, I want it." I don't know the whole story about it, but from my understanding, there are people selling them for stupid amounts on eBay. Stupid amounts. And so one guy got really pissed off, and he somehow got a hold of, like, they called it a glass copy or a master copy or whatever, and they made official discs, not like CDR burns, but like real glass, they call it glass copies or whatever, so it won't damage your laser of your system. And so he pressed a whole bunch of them and was selling them, and his original batch I think was pretty good, and this is another one that had just a little issue with the disc art or something, but I don't know what the original really looks like, nor do I care, but they say it's a fantastic shooter. They consider it one of the most graphically impressive games as far as, you know, the stuff on screen. It actually has polygon stuff like Star Fox. Some of the ships in it have polygon looks to it. It actually requires the arcade card. So, I mean, this is one of the last games released. And you can even tell it says no eBay. I don't know if it will show up on the camera. But the same friend of mine at work, actually, who printed me the cover for Bonk, printed me this front and back casing for this disc, because, you know, when he mails you the disc, he also emails you a PDF of the cover and the back, and also a spine card. So my coworker at work, who works in the marketing department with all the cool printers and paper and whatnot, was able to give me a really high quality insert for both of these games, which makes it look really nice on the shelf. So then I only have a couple loose games. Devil Crush. It's a little better than Alien Crush. Definitely fun. Pick it up. Splatterhouse. Another great game. This one I'd actually like to get boxed. You know, the second and third one are on the Genesis. And that's fun. Fantasy Zone. They call them a cute 'em up. It's a real cutesy kind of shoot 'em up. You're just flying around. Let's see what else. Kadash. I've played it. I got kind of confused on what it was. It was kind of different. It's made by Working Designs. One of the few games they made. I think Working Designs brought over Kadash and Parasol Stars. Off the top of my head, I don't know if they have any other ones. Aerial Blasters. Another fun shooter. If you like shooters, this is the system for you. This one actually gets to be a little more expensive. Wish it had the case and all. Double Dungeons. The happy console gamer just bashes on this to no end. It's pretty much a dungeon exploring game where all the walls are gray and they look the same. This is the Japanese version of JJ and Jeff. It's Ken and something. Ken and Kato, maybe, I'm guessing. But it's the JJ and Jeff in the US, their version of the game, where it's taken off a TV show in Japan, and this has the original potty humor that was changed in the American thing. I think the guy farts on each other and peas and stuff like that. A lot of stuff they actually took out in the US version. And the last one is Sonic Spike. It's a volleyball game. So you've seen my library, and the only thing left is I'm going to hopefully try to pick up a Turbo Duo RX. I've been talking with the guys, and they're saying that the RX is a great system out of the Duo line. The Japanese one's the last one made, and it's the most reliable. They say all the Duos have laser and cap issues, so that's the one I'm trying to save up for, but it's like $300, and I don't have $300 right now. and I don't really want to sell anything in my collection. So, you know, I'll try to put $20 here, you know, $20 there, and over a period of time, hopefully save up for it, and be able to pick it up. And then when I do that, I'll have to get it modded, and then I'll start picking up more of the Japanese games and the arcade card. But until then, until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Sorry this one ran stupid long, but I wanted to cover everything. I'm sure most people have already turned off the video by now. But if you stuck with me, thank you a lot. I'll catch up with you later. I'll make another video here soon. So, see ya.